Hello everyone, welcome back to Be the Whole You. My name is Golveg, and today we are going to be taking a look at this new moon in Leo, August 16th, 2023. And we're going to take a look at the stars above and the tarot below to see how we might best utilize this lunar energy for our best and highest good. So this new moon in Leo is a very powerful one. First, I wanted to just talk about the numerology of it because it's kind of synchronistic or coincidental, however it is that you want to look at it. But so Lionsgate is something that not a lot, some people know about it. I think people are starting to learn about it a little bit more. There's been more talk about it the last couple years. But Lionsgate is something that happens every Leo season. Where our spiritual sun of the star Sirius aligns with our physical sun of our solar system, and as well as Earth. And this year, Lionsgate was between July 26th to August 12th. And August 8th is always looked at as being kind of like the pinnacle of Lionsgate because of the number 8 being associated with Leo energy. And in part that's because of the month that it's in, August. It's the 8th month. But also it's associated with the Strength card, which the Strength card in the tarot is the card where you have the lion with the lady in white who's petting the lion. Well, that card's associated with Leo. And in that card, there's also a number 8 right above their heads. And number 8 is about manifestation. It's about cycles. It's about cause and effect. So there's a lot of significance with the number 8 as it applies to Leo energy. And this new moon is on the 16th, so it's literally 8 days after August 8th, which is the time in which a lot of folks really they celebrate Lionsgate. For those who are aware of it and celebrate it, they usually celebrate it on August 8th. So I found that was very interesting that this new moon in Leo is 8 days after the most popular day of Lionsgate. So anyway, there's a lot of other things that are really interesting about this new moon in Leo. This new moon has the potential to create some very powerful, tangible transformations if we choose to use it that way. So, for example, the sun and the moon, they're both together. That's what happens on a new moon at 23 degrees in Leo. And we also have Uranus and Jupiter that are conjunct in Taurus. And there's also a grand trine that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit that also plays a part with this. But we have Uranus, which is the planet of change, and Jupiter expands anything it touches. And then we also have in the mix the sun and the moon in Leo. And Leo is about our identity. It's about our charisma. It's about our courage. It's about our strength and willpower. And so Uranus, being the planet of change, is asking us how we want to transform. Like, we really get to have like a self makeover, an egoic makeover with this new moon on a lot of different levels here, as we're going to talk about that in a second. So one other thing too is that we have Venus retrograde in Leo at 18 degrees. And we have that number 8 again, which is interesting. In this case though, it's 18, so 1 plus 8 equals 9. And that's associated with the Hermit card. And so we are, and the Hermit card is very much about using the self as the vessel for the change that you want to see in your world. You know, it's just like Gandhi said, you know, be the change that you want to see. And Venus retrograde gives us an opportunity to reassess, especially our relationship to money, wealth, luck, our livelihood, as well as our relationships, especially our romantic relationships. So just a word of caution with all of this. If you have met somebody new romantically, especially in the last week or so, or if you meet somebody new while this Venus is in retrograde, just take it slow. Take it slow. Don't go rushing in too fast, too hot, too heavy, too too quick. Like, just take it easy, because a lot of times they say that in Venus retrograde, it's not the best time to start new romantic relationships. So take it slow. This is, however, a really good time to explore new interests and new hobbies. And those new interests and hobbies, they may actually open doors to other opportunities, and may even have a ripple effect to where they have a more profound impact on our lives than just a pleasurable way to spend our time. So if there's been something that's been on the back burner, if like you've wanted to take up weaving or you've wanted to take a pottery class, like now would definitely be a good time to do that. And the other thing too about exploring those new interests and those new hobbies is that they give us a chance to explore different facets of our personality and of our own skill sets and abilities that we may not have completely explored, maybe even at all. So this is a moon that's really giving us permission to divulge in our personal interests, to take time for ourselves. I know that, in these videos, I talk a lot about self-care. In this case, self-care isn't just about bubble baths and relaxation and meditations. This is really about exploring who we are, what our strengths are, maybe even our weaknesses, and how we resource ourselves around those weaknesses, and to get creative on who and what it is that we want to be tomorrow. And so there is a little bit of tension here in that transformation, but this can be approached in a way where it is more of an opportunity, and if we can approach it with a space of curiosity, then we might even have fun in this process. It's actually possible that parts of this might even be fun. I know, crazy, but it's true. So the other thing too about Uranus and Jupiter is also in some ways like associated with luck a little bit. It does expand everything it touches, so it's expanding change, so change is on the way. And also both of them are at 5 degrees, or have the number 5. So Uranus is at 23 degrees, 2 plus 3 equals 5. Jupiter is at 14 degrees, 1 plus 4 equals 5. 5 is the number of change. So it's change, all around change. And so the thing about that though too is that if you've been wanting a particular change and it feels like you have been just stuck and trying to trudge your way through tar in order to move even a small bit forward, this is definitely a new moon that can break that lethargy, that kind of sinking down kind of feeling where it just feels like everything is so hard. If you've been pessimistic about a goal, a dream, or an idea, this is the time to just give it up to the universe and be like, how? Show me how. Because the thing is that we all have more connections, more possibilities than any of us are really privy to. There's things going on behind the scenes, synchronicities, untold synchronicities that can happen. Just give it up to the universe and ask how. So that brings me to this grand trine. I want to talk about that because Uranus and Jupiter, we're already talking about that. So 23 degrees Uranus, 14 degrees Jupiter in Taurus. That's tangible change. Taurus is earth. So it is about house, it's about home, it's about wealth, and it's about livelihood, our own physical health as well as mental health, but really it's about tangible change. And then we have Mercury and Mars in Virgo. And this can give us the ability to create plans and put it into action, because Mercury is about the mind, it's about the intellect. It's also about communication. And Mars is about passion, it's about action, it's about gusto, it's fire. And it's about fire. So fire it has a lot of duality to it. It can nurture us, it can cook our food, it can also burn down our house. So if you're feeling hot-headed, especially with Mercury being conjunct with Mars, and it being in Virgo, and Virgo is also an earth, it is earth, but it's also about, it's about analyzing data and gathering information and then assimilating that information in a way where we can create, again, tangible plans, tangible change. So Virgo is very detail oriented. So if you're trying to create a business plan, if you're trying to create a plan to move or to make any kind of change, any kind of plans whatsoever will be heightened by this. The other thing about that, though, is because Mercury is about communication and Mars is fire, if we're feeling hot-headed, maybe just let ourselves cool down before we speak, because that is the flip side of that conjunction, that it could make us say things that are a little bit edgy, a little aggressive, and later on we might feel like we might regret what we say. So that's just a little heads up about that piece of it there too. And then we have Pluto in Capricorn at 28 degrees, again with that trine. So the trine is Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. We have Mars and Mercury in Virgo, and Pluto in Capricorn at 28 degrees. And 28 degrees again is like just another numeral of 5, 2 plus 8 equals 10, so that's, and 10 is about new beginnings. So it still has that element of change. And so again, we have practical change. Pluto is about death and rebirth. Capricorn is earth as well. And Capricorn is the earth element as it applies to systems, institutions, and how and it's considered a generational planet. So its energy is much more macro, and it influences how we go about things. And so with Pluto at 28 degrees in Capricorn, Capricorn is goal oriented. It's all about like the next stepping stone. And then we have that with Mars and Mercury that is helping us make plans. And then we have Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus that is initiating the change necessary to make those tangible, earthy changes. We have all of these things working together with this new moon that is creating the space for new beginnings. And where it starts with is the question of, who do you want to be? That's kind of a big question, right? And that brings me to the North Node. That is the North Node is where it is that we're wanting to head. It's our future. It's our purpose. And this very much, I think, kind of it plays a little bit with like the Pluto and Capricorn at 28 degrees, and the North Node is at 28 degrees, and with Chiron at 19 degrees in Aries, which the ruling planet for Aries is Mars. So we have this Mars energy again. We have North Node, which is our future. Chiron is known as the wounded healer. So whatever it is that we are needing to step into, whatever change that all of these planets are conspiring to help us initiate and to create a new foundation, it really starts with healing something within our own psyche, within ourselves. Chiron's the wounded healer, and to take that venom and to make the antidote. When we can do that, we're going to find that we're going to be able to navigate into this new seas of change with a little bit more equanimity. So, yeah. This is giving us an ability to write a new story about ourselves. Like, that's pretty much what this whole life is, right? Like, this is an avatar. Who and what you are is a witness, is the witness that is watching your life unfold. Who we think we are is the ego, the identity, me being Gulveg, the person that's wearing this shirt, the person that's sitting in front of this video. This is a persona, is an avatar that is allowing my soul to express itself in a very particular way, and we put a name to it. In this case, my name is Gulveg. That is my avatar, at least at this time. In this way, we have this opening for this next, especially next few days, but really the next couple of weeks, to take some time, explore new facets of our personality, our interests and abilities, and to take some time to meditate, to journal, to become introspective, perhaps even reach out to a practitioner for clarity, bounce some things off some friends, and really get clear on the next tangible steps that will take us to where we want to go. The clarity, though, is going to start with what do I need to heal now to be who and what I need to be in order to draw whatever it is that you want closer to yourself. We are the vessel for change. Our mind, our spirits, our body, we are the vessel for the change that we want to see. And we have a lot more influence over that, I think, than we give ourselves credit for. This definitely is a moon where we could go from victim to victorious in a way that is more graceful than what typically that process looks like. So if there's any parts that are still feeling resentful, angry, parts of us that don't trust enough to allow us to do the things that we need to do to put ourselves out there, to show up in the way that we want to show up in the world, all of those parts are parts that are being invited to come out, to play, and to be understood so that they can be integrated into a productive part of your psyche. So, with all that being said, let's just pull a few cards and see. I feel like the question for this particular reading is getting more specifics on the how. So how does that transformation look? But the cards will just say what the cards want to say. So just join me in setting the intention that whatever parts of this reading are most pertinent to you will be the parts that will spring up. They'll just, oh, that's for me. That you'll know instantly what messages are truly meant for you. All right, so we ask our guides be of goodwill, our divine highest self. What is it that we need to know or do at this time to best utilize this energy of this new moon in Leo, August 16th, 2023? Okay, so the Five of Swords comes up, and this is a card that comes up when it's time to take your ball and go home. So the Five of Swords can be winning at all costs, and it can also be that we were the ones that had to defend ourselves, and now we are done with the battle. With the Five of Swords comes up, it usually means that both sides have lost something. There was no clear victorious winner here. And I think that this is talking a bit about that Chiron and North Node in Aries, where what it is that we're needing to move on from is kind of like cutting your losses and going home. So that sometimes is what forgiveness looks like. A lot of times forgiveness does not look like saying, oh, it's okay, because sometimes it's just not. There's certain things that we're asked to forgive that are just not ever going to be okay. It's not about condoning unacceptable behavior. What it is about saying, I'm going to take my power back, because I'm the only one that can clean up the messes in my life, even if I didn't create them. So it's not about shame and blame. It's about freedom. It's about independence. It's about sovereignty. And that is very much repeated in these next three cards. These next three cards came out together. So when they come out together, it's like planets that are conjunct. I look at it as like one energy that's really working together. We have the King of Wands reversed. We also have the Six of Pentacles reversed. And then we have the Prince of Swords reversed. So what I'm seeing with that is that what we might be healing from are instances in which there was either aggressive, jealous, malicious, mean behavior, just mean, aggressive behavior. King of Wands reversed can be very aggressive. And then we have the Six of Pentacles reversed, where there was a lack of generosity. We may feel like we were either owed something, or that there was something in the relationship where like it may have been implied that we gave more than we received, and that in fact what we may have gotten in return is some nasty, malicious behavior that we didn't feel was really justified, and then that made us stuck. And the Prince of Swords reversed in this case, I'm seeing that it means sometimes it's asking us to slow down. In this case, it may have been that we needed to slow down as a result of those painful experiences, to be able to heal and to nurture and to move forward at a pace that is sustainable. All of this. And what's very interesting, that inner child healing is something that came up in the astrology, because the next card we have is the Sun reversed. So on this card, it's kind of flashing here, there is a child on the horse. And when it's reversed, one of the meanings is a need for inner child healing. So whatever the King of Wands and the Six of Pentacles reversed is about, it has something to do with a pattern that probably existed from childhood. So we might be healing toxic family patterns. We might be healing just being bullied. Maybe there's something in our adulthood that then mirrors a painful experience that we had as a child. Those type of things might be coming up. And the Eight of Cups is saying, when it's reversed, is like, it's okay, it's safe to give it one more try. Just give it one more try. And this is where, now don't give it one more try haphazardly, because there isn't a need to be haphazard. The universe is totally supporting us in creating a tangible plan, even if that plan might be slow and incremental. The plan might be, if you know what kind of wounds that this is talking about, it might be about reaching out and setting an appointment to heal those wounds. It might be having a conversation with somebody that we've been afraid to have that conversation with. Giving it one more try might be to take a look at that business plan that we made and to be really honest with ourselves that part of it maybe isn't just going to work out and that we need to go back to the drawing board. There's a lot of ways that this could transpire. But if you've been afraid to give it one more try because it feels like it's just too much work and you don't want to put energy into something that is just not going to work out, then the stars and the cards are both saying that it is giving you the green light to do so. In fact, it's saying all systems go with revisiting things that have held us back and to rewrite our story, rewrite our identity to a certain degree, to ask ourselves, who or what would we be without those painful things? And it's not to erase those painful things, but it's to integrate those painful things, to take a look and say, okay, with everything being as it is, what is the most loving thing I can do for myself? I guarantee you that whatever the answer is, that forgiveness and moving on and claiming your sovereignty and saying, you know, what's yours is yours, what's mine is mine. We don't ever have to be friends. We don't have to talk, but I am going to do what's best for me. Taking that radical responsibility, that is the only way to personal empowerment. That definitely would, it's going to pay off in dividends. It will transform everything. So was a big one. That felt like a really, there's a lot of really big energy with this Leo new moon. I mean, it's Leo season, so yeah, pretty kitty, pretty kitty. All right, guys, thank you all, and I hope you have a graceful, transformative, and healing lunar cycle. And the next lunar reading that we're going to have is on August 30th, and it's going to be a blue moon. Yes, August has been such a transformative month, and I can't wait to be back here in a couple weeks where we're going to talk about that. Bye-bye.